Welcome to Shani Speaks. Let me tell you guys about a time where God spoke to me through the wind. You might be like, huh? Yeah, He spoke to me through the wind. And you might ask, how did you know it was Him? That's why I tell you I have a relationship with God so you can know His voice. Okay? But anywho, I was in college on the campus, and I was desperately looking for a job. And I needed money, and I was doing everything that I can to find a job, and I couldn't. So one day I just sat on the bench. I sat on the bench at the campus, and behind the bench was like probably two the tall pine cone trees, and then there was like trees, but they were not like close to me. And I was just sitting there and like talking to God, like, God, I need a job. I am desperate. Please make a way. And all of a sudden, in my left ear, this wind was blowing so much in my ear. It's like the thing that they blow, like the leaves and stuff like that, the big blowers. I felt like they put it inside my left ear. That's how loud it was. So I'm like, oh my goodness, this wind is really strong. And I was saying that just like that when I was like sitting there. But then I look up, the two pine cone trees that was behind me were not moving. And if there's wind, they're supposed to be moving. In the trees that was like a little distance was not moving either. So I'm like, that's strange. So I said, okay, let me turn this ear, the right ear, to see if I would hear the wind in the right ear. I turned my right ear and I did not hear a thing. The wind was gone. But as soon as I turned to this ear, there was this noise, this loud wind just blowing in my ear. I was like going like this and stuff like that because I really thought that what was going on? Like, it was blowing really loud. So I'm like, okay, the trees are not blowing, and like you don't see no leaf, like being blown off, whatever. So what's really going on? Then I'm like, okay, you know what? It's probably God speaking to me. So let me listen closer. So I spoke and I said, God, if it is you that's speaking, tell me what to do or lead me to what you want me to do. And instantly I have what is it called? I forgot how you say it. But I got off the bench. I walked where my car was parked, and I got in the car. All of this, I'm not leading myself. I got in the car and I said, God, I'm getting in this car. Please lead me where you want me to go, because I don't understand it, but I know that was you. So I got in the car and I was driving. I came from the campus and I drove all the way down to a place I never drove before. I just drove and drove and drove, and every time I passed by like a shop or something, a business, I'm like, is this it, God? Just tell me when to turn, so I can so I could go ask if they are hiring for a job. And when I wasn't there yet, all I kept hearing was, no, that's not it. That's not it. And then finally, I came to this plaza. I was passing by this plaza that had a Winn-Dixie, Korean, a Chinese restaurant, and then it was a rainbow shop. And I said, is it this one? He said, yes. That's internally, right? I didn't hear like an audible voice. That's internally. Like, I'm hearing like, this is that one. So I went inside the plaza. I said, there's a lot of shops in the plaza. Which one it is? And then I parked the car right in front of Winn-Dixie, right? And I said, okay, I'm just gonna go, from shop to shop, places to places, and ask if they are hiring. So I went there. I went to Winn-Dixie first. And when I got there was no manager on the floor, nothing like that. So I went into produce, act like I needed something, but I really didn't need nothing. And then I didn't really go far, but I was like, okay, there's nobody here. Maybe this is not the place. But while I was turning to head back to my car to go to the next shop at the plaza, a big tall man walked out some type of office that was like in the front, and he said, did you need something that you did not find? Is everything okay? I'm like, yes, I was just looking for a job. And he was like, oh, okay, we are hiring. I was like, okay, you guys are hiring? He said, yeah, we are looking for cashiers and things like that. Mind you, I was like 18, 19 years old. And he was asking me, do I have any experience at like a job? I was like, yeah. I used to work for a stadium, whatever, and I have a little bit experience, but it's like they only have jobs when they have games and stuff like that. So that man said, okay, come to my office and stuff like that. And he asked me some more questions and stuff like that. And long story short, I got the job. I went to training, did the interview, all of that. And I got the job. And I was just like, God, if that was not you, I don't know what that was. Because it was so strange of how the wind was blowing in my left ear only, and it was not blowing in the right ear. And later on in life, I learned that God only speaks to me through one ear. Okay? And I said, God, if that's you, lead me where you want me to go. Tell me what, even when I was driving, I said, tell me when to stop, where to go, and this and that. And that same day, I met the manager. The guy that came out was the manager. And I got the job there. And I worked there for at least 4 to 5 years at that store. That's why I keep telling you guys, have a relationship with Jesus, because you will know his voice. I was obedient to what I was feeling in my spirit that he was telling me to do, that the Holy Spirit was telling me to do, and I moved. Okay? So, yeah. Okay, that's what I wanted to tell you guys. God can come in any form, shape, or size that he pleases. He spoke to me through the wind. And yeah. All right. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.